Welcome to the third season of Hawk Magazine. On our show today, we'll first talk with members of the women's soccer team, specifically head coach Scott McLean and forward midfielder Vanessa Van Slythe. They'll discuss their hard-fought season. Next, we'll check in with our women's bowling team, sophomore Jenna Angle, and head coach Sarah Snyder. The Lady Keglers have set some team and personal records, and we look forward to hearing more later in the show from them.
Hi, I'm Jamar Harris Jr., a senior and a communication student here at Hillbrook College. I'm here with Vanessa Van Slythe, a soccer player, and Scott McLean, head soccer coach. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
All right, I'm going to get into, my first question here. Obviously with last year, you had a really good year, highest finish in program history, home playoff game. This year was a bit more of a struggle. Do you kind of get into those struggles or kind of explain where some things may have went wrong this year?
Yeah, thanks, Jamal. We're not going to sugarcoat it or anything like that. We had high expectations coming into this year after a really strong finish the year prior. And, we got hit with the injury bug at the wrong time. We really asked a lot of players, especially freshmen, to, play above and beyond their means too early. And they did a great job. Honestly, I was super proud of them. However, the conditions didn't just work in our favor in those moments. But the way I look at it, this team coming out of every game, no matter what, they stuck together. I think when you look at a program that has a tough game, how they act after those moments when they walk off the field, how they treat each other and in their environment, and that really says a lot. And they never wavered. They stayed a family. They stayed true to each other and in the process and getting better every single day. And as the season went on, we saw that. So even with those struggles, you saw improvement throughout the season. That being said, we're really excited for our season next year. We got a lot of great players coming in that are really going to help us get the roster to where we need it to be so that I can put those players in a position to succeed. We're a family. We're excited, and we're just going to keep getting better. And next year is really looking bright. So this is going to be a great offseason for us.
Yeah, well, kind of when it comes to recruiting, to making the team, how you kind of want it and to make it successful. What are some things you're kind of looking for? Is it obviously it's probably a mixture of both, but just kind of explain that.
Yeah. So no matter what, we want to bring in A+ people. That's just a big thing. Our culture and, the way we go about our business like that's an unwavering thing. So, I work really hard to vet that and make sure that we're bringing in the right type of people. And then on top of that, they got to be able to play and hit a college level minimum and, and hopefully even more than that and dictate the game. And, I actually this last year shifted my recruiting a little bit. I did a lot of research and, I started earlier in the recruiting process, and that's helped a ton. I think, prior to that, we were recruiting a little bit late to start for each season. And, this upcoming year, we came into the season with 7 commits already, all from really high level, high caliber areas, and they're great people. So I had a little more time to tell them our story, where we were, where we are, and where we're going. And, they, again, because we have A+ people on this team, they saw that. We won the Vibe game. We are a family. They know that, and they felt welcomed here. And, we're ready to go. So,
yeah, it sounds like, the future is definitely really bright. Now, moving on now to Vanessa, I know you're coming off a season-ending injury last year, coming back this year, torn ACL, right? So, yeah, kind of, explain the rehab process, kind of coming back, when did you kind of, start feeling yourself out there on the soccer field?
Yeah, so obviously something like that is pretty tough. It's more mental than physical, honestly. Kind of like when you first come out of like surgery, like you have no leg, like you're kind of trying to like get back with that. And it's kind of just day by day, week by week, month by month, like you kind of just got to keep up the mental. And honestly, I probably didn't really feel, I'm still not my 100%, but kind of just like mid-season, I kind of just felt more comfortable, I guess. When I came into like preseason, it was a little scary because where I'm from, like there's not really much like opportunity for like playing soccer, and I kind of didn't really like play against somebody. Like I would go out with some of my friends and like practice, but and do like 1v1s, but it's not the same as like a game. So when I came here and they popped me into a scrimmage, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing here? This is crazy. But honestly, it feels really good to be back, and feels good to like actually help my team, because watching from the sidelines it's really hard, especially when like you can't do anything about it, you know?
I can imagine. All right, now we're going to play a little game now. It's called a little 3-word game. So, Vanessa, you're going to go first. I'm going to say, obviously, head coach Scott McLean, and give 3 words to describe him.
Okay. Let me see. Definitely passionate, hardworking, and determined, I would say.
All right, and what makes you, say those words?
He's always there for us. Like, he's always like putting himself out there, like for our team. He like genuinely like cares about us, and I think that's something that's pretty shown. I mean, if it's not shown to the public, but it's shown to like our team, especially because we've grown so much as a team. Like we've kind of turned into a family, and I think that's pretty much his doing. So.
All right, Coach Vanessa Van Slythe, what you got? 3 words.
Well, first of all, I appreciate that. There's definitely no lack of passion, I think, across the board on this team. And I could say one of those words to Vanessa, the same in passion. Probably a couple of those too. But stoic comes to mind. I think just her demeanor overall, and the way that she carries herself, and comes to work every single day. That word kind of embodies, I think, when I think of Vanessa too. But I want to find a better word for hardworking, I guess. But I mean, I think we take GPS recordings of our our data from games, and she will double the amount of mileage she puts in sessions and games and stuff like that. And there's just no quit. So maybe no quit. We'll go with that one.
Quit.
All right, now I've done some sports here too with a variety of different coaches. I've been at a Bob Crew practice. I've been at a Rob Grand Prix practice. I was some very different practices. So, and you as well. So explain how a Scott McLean kind of practice is. Is it is it chill? Is it really intense? Like, explain that practice.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on like how we're feeling. I guess like pregame, postgame. If it's like during the week, preseason is pretty intense. We're kind of trying to get back into things. Obviously kind of trying to get everybody back up in their technical abilities and fitness, and that's kind of tough. So kind of have to like drill down on everything. But pregame it's pretty light. We're kind of just like going over more tactical stuff. Like we'll talk about what the other team does, like in their formation and stuff, and we'll kind of like explain that a little bit more to like our team. And I mean, after like post game, if we do have practice, it's usually pretty light. I mean, we're not usually like screaming at each other. Like it's not like I'm thinking, but
like contentious, baby. What's that? Like contentious?
Contentious, sure, yeah. It's not like you like don't want to be there, I guess, yeah. So, I mean, it's a good environment overall.
That's good. Now I got the last question here for Coach. You're still, kind of a generally young head coach here, and then you got promoted when Tim Sile became the AD here. Are there, some things you're still kind of learning, kind of being on the job here, still, being kind of relatively new to this?
Yeah, so, I mean, I've been a soccer coach for a long time, so I had no problem with that, training on and off, or training individually, small groups, and in teams. I had no problem with. I've done a lot of that. The recruiting part I did have to learn. Like I didn't come in as a recruiter at all, and nor did I have any training. So again, going back to how I shifted a few things last year, it did make a big difference. So I was just tireless in that, and still am. Of course, I'm going to continue to learn, what systems and processes I need to have for that. So read a bunch of books, podcasts, anything I can get my hands on to just figure out the best way to do things there. At the same time, too, it's, really just the business of collegiate sports. I was always on the field, right? So I would go to the field, and then go home. Here, it's more like running an enterprise, right? And the entire program from top to bottom. I have run a business before, small group private training soccer business. But it's just a little bit of a different animal. So, being able to delegate certain things, bring people in, work with certain, staffs on campus, and really just making sure that we have as much control to create a successful environment for the players. That's something that every single day I'm trying to improve on and just get better and learn different things from experts in the field, programs out there that are, well, one nice thing is I'm on the regional rankings committee. So like I get to speak with and communicate with some of the top teams in the country. And I have a lot of questions and I'm always willing to learn on that. So whatever it is, whatever it looks like, just get better every day, just like I ask from the players.
Yeah, well, it certainly looks like a great program. I know it's a great program, and it definitely, you guys have a lot of fun there. And, that was my last question, so I appreciate you guys joining me today. That's you have it. That's soccer head coach and Vanessa Van Slyke soccer player. I'm going to pass it back to the desk.
Hi, my name is Kenny Trometer, and I'm here today interviewing Coach Snyder and Jenna Engel from women's bowling. How are you guys doing today?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, doing pretty good. Thank you very much. I'd like to start off with you, Jenna, if that's all right.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, sweet. Okay, so what got you interested in bowling, and what's kept you in the sport for as long as you've been doing it?
Yeah, I first started about 11 years ago. One of my mom's friends, he was a coach for a while, and he thought maybe we should join a league. And so me and my sister joined, and it started off just for fun, and we actually really liked it and liked learning about the sport. So we started to enter tournaments slowly for our age at the time, and then we started to win those tournaments, and we enjoyed the sport, and then we just kept progressing from there. I did it all throughout middle school. I did it in high school, got taught by a couple different coaches here and there, and I really learned to love the sport.
All right, awesome. Yeah, it sounds like a pretty good backstory. How is the experience of having two head coaches now for your team, and how do those how does it work?
Yeah, I think it's really great to have two instead of one because we are a smaller team, but we still have a number of players. So you always have the attention from both. If one coach is working with someone, you have another coach that can work with others, and each coach knows different things about the sport and has different ways of explaining it. So if something isn't working for one, you have the other, and it's just really good to have double the support.
Gotcha. Coach Snyder, do you have anything you want to add on this?
Pretty much the same as Jenna, really. What's really nice is sometimes me and Andy will be looking at the same player and we see two different things. It happened last week at practice, working with Jenna, where I noticed something and he was paying attention to something completely different. And so we combined both of those things that we noticed and made improvements, and we get better.
All right, yeah, it sounds pretty good. Yeah. Coach Snyder, please, can you please update us on that your experiences of participating at Hilbert, can you do a brief rundown on your history with the team and that kind of thing?
Sure. With the team, this is going to be my first year and also first year as a head coach in general. So I'm super excited to see where the season takes us. It's crazy that we only have, I believe, 3 more tournaments until our first half is done, and then we kind of just go on the road to make AMCC championships. So I'm super excited to see where the team goes, especially being my first year. I'm just enjoying the ride with Andy.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good stuff. Yeah. So, can you please describe to me your history with bowling? When did you participate in bowling beforehand or anything?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been bowling pretty much since I could walk. My grandpa bowled when he was a lot younger. He was actually a pin boy when they didn't have automatic lane machines. So he would do the pin chasing and setting up the pins. And then my dad did it, and now me and my brother do it. And I've been doing it ever since for probably about 25 years now. Been competing as a kid and then did it throughout middle school and high school. Was super excited when I could join the school team for varsity level as a 7th grader. And then when I found out you could just bowl in college and you could get a little bit of scholarship, I was like, cool, this is even better. So that's what I did, and that's what led me to here. I just want student athletes to have the experience that I know others got and some didn't. I just want them to have the best experience possible.
So what would you say is like your main goal or like objective for this season for your team?
Sure. Obviously, we want to win. But really what I care about this year is making sure the girls enjoy themselves and see improvements personally, and improvements as the team. So really not a lot more big picture things, like how are we looking from the beginning of the season, from September when we first started practicing, to how are we looking when we get to February and March. So, obviously, like I said, big things are we want to win, but we know there can only be one winner, so we really have just been focusing on ourselves and improving upon ourselves.
All right, that's good. How about you, Jenna? What would you say is your main objective for this season?
Yeah, I think definitely, like Coach said, winning. We all want that. But I think personally, we definitely want to see difference in our spares and things like that we've struggled with in the past, at least seeing growth from when we first started.
What comes to mind when you guys think about the team as a whole? Like who do you think is like your biggest strength and your biggest weakness?
Yeah, our biggest strength for sure is the bond we all have with each other. I think it's one of the good things about having a smaller team, but we all genuinely get along. It's not just on the lanes, it's off the lanes. Like, these are people that I hang out with off the lanes, I would continue to hang out with even outside of Hilbert. And so that bond is definitely something that you see lacking in a lot of other teams, and it's definitely a big strength. A weakness for sure, I would say, is sometimes the mental side of the sport. I know we struggled with this last season, and it's easier said than done. Sometimes if you're not seeing the results on the lane that you want, you can get in your own head. But again, just working with each other to help ourselves get out of that mindset. But definitely something we need to continue to work on.
Yeah. Coach Snyder, do you have anything you would like to add on that subject matter?
Just adding on, the one thing I always tell people when they ask about the team is I'm like, they all genuinely get along and they all really like each other, which, I mean, getting 7 girls to like each other, I feel like in general, and like actually get along and not have drama is like one huge accomplishment. And then as a team, when you're competing from when your season starts October 1 all the way to the end of March, which is basically the entire school year, I mean, that's a lot of personalities to manage, and it's just, I'm so thankful and honestly so honored to work with them that they have that mindset. And then just adding on to Jenna, yeah, mental game is a huge thing in bowling. Repeating shots, physical shots. Anybody can take 5 steps and throw a ball down the lane. But what it really takes is that mental grit and like pulling yourself back in. And it's really, a lot of people say bowling is probably about 80% mental game and 20% physical.
Oh, gotcha. So how far do you guys like travel for your competitions?
This year we are going as far as Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I believe. Oh no, I lied. We're going to Altoona, so that's 4.5 hours away, not 3.5.
Gotcha.
But yeah, next year we're hoping to take some, longer trips. But right now, farthest is Altoona, Pennsylvania, and then the closest is, right in our backyard. We're competing at Kenmore, New York, this weekend.
Oh, gotcha. Well, best of luck with your, upcoming competition.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I got one last question for you guys, if that's all right. If you guys could describe one word to describe your whole team, what word would you choose, and why would you choose that word?
I would say passionate. Yeah, definitely passionate. All these girls, not only do they want to learn, but they want to get better. And if we throw drill at them, they're gung-ho. I am continuously impressed by their passion for the sport, because if you look at some of the videos we took of them back in September to even now, which is only almost 2 months later, leaps and bounds. And you only get there through the passion of the game and loving and actually wanting to be there.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Another word I use to describe, and it's more of you could see being a player, is just helpful. Like, I remember during our first tournament, when someone's struggling, you turn around and you have just a bunch of 6 other people smiling at you, ready to help you. If it's, try to keep you calm, keep you in the game. Nerves are definitely a big thing when it comes to tournaments. Or just, hey, I have an idea of what you can do on your next shot. And also off the lanes too. If there's ever a problem with anything, even if it has nothing to do with the team, everyone's always there, always asking, how was work? How was this? So it's definitely helpful to have this many people be your biggest supporters.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with that. Well, best of luck with you guys, and thank you guys for coming in and taking the time to speak with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
That's all for this edition of Hawk Magazine. Stay tuned for future shows, and please remember to support our Hawks. To that I say, Hawk yeah.